Alright, gonna try to keep this one short because this is my multiple attempts at recording this. But yeah, so getting into it here, I wanted to see us as in the morning come up here and take out these data highs. I had, I wasn't really on the charts this morning. I just around 8:30 opened it up. So we had or 8:30 Central, so that'd be 9:30 around 9:30 New York time. So around market open. So we had this data high at 8:30 market time. And one possible hindsight entry could have been as soon as 9:30 open, we swung low down here, took out these lows, made this 1 minute fair value gap. Um, could have had a possible entry here after we left this high, retrace back into this 1 minute, targeting these data highs. But again, I don't know if I would have taken this just because it was before 10 a.m., which at 10 a.m. we had revised consumer sentiment. Although usually consumer sentiment, from what I've seen in the past, doesn't create that high of an impact. But even if it like I had entered, I could have and most likely would have ended up moving stops to break even after we had taken out this high, because then I don't want to see us to come lower and want to focus on these data highs. So, and which we ended up able to come past this high 10 minutes before news had came out. So if I would have entered in here and moved my stops above break even, it would have been pretty risk free. Um, but yeah, once we got into here, that's when I would have liked to see the move to the downside, which ended up not being the case. We ended up respecting this 15-minute inverse for value gap, kind of consolidating in this 4 hour, which is why I really wanted to see us kind of consolidate here and possibly have. This is where I wanted the move to be. And then just blowing past this inverse fair value gap. Again, that's not what had happened. But it just on multiple different time frames, I don't have it anymore. There's a lot of SMT formings up here. I kind of had just seen this strong move down with the 1 minute, and I wanted to try to see if this could have been like an early entry. That's why I went in three cons. Probably should have just done two like I had done yesterday. Would have added more if we had broken down here. That did not end up being the case. We ended up getting stopped out before, kind of consolidating here, having a little bit of a move, and then moved low. But it wasn't, I mean, it was a little bit of a move, but I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really see anything in it. And we were kind of going into lunch session. So I just had hopped off, taking a break there. Going into this position, same thing. It was kind of just, we're having consolidation, and I'm really watching just to see these highs get taken out. And I thought this is finally where we were going to see the move. Same thing. We really had displacement lower. I bought into this 1 minute fair value gap, targeting mainly down here. Would have said stops to break even here if we could have hit it, but that did not happen. The reason I went in five cons into this is because we were going into uh, the 2 p.m. open, which is around this time when between here and 2 p.m. is when I would figure we would start seeing a move lower, especially because of how he displays. Did not end up being the case. Kind of ended up being liquidity because we got stopped out here just before finally moving down, and then not only going here but ending up going down to this low as well. So around this time, it was kind of a little mentally frustrating in the sense that I started to see what we wanted to see, but there really was no entries. One thing I will talk about later is I guess at 2 p.m. this kind of could have been an entry. We have this inverse with the open low high close, which I will get into at the end of the video, but there's a reason I didn't see it or take it. And then so coming down into here, I kind of just wanted to see how far we could go. At this point, I was already two losses on the day. I shouldn't have really taken this, and it wasn't anything like a revenge trade or anything to do with having to, try to get break even on the day or anything like that. I've kind of gotten that out of my psychology because I realized longevity wise that that will not sustain. So it was mainly just the fact that I was looking too heavily at the chart after being so mentally fatigued that I was trying to find opportunities that weren't there. So we tapped into which I guess this could be a 1 minute order block. Tapped into it. We also had a fair value gap, but I had already entered before it was created. And yeah, it really was not that good of an entry. We ended up creating these equal lows and then coming higher, getting stopped down, and then just chopping, coming up all the way up to here again, and then having another move lower, but yeah, if I would have gotten what I would have wanted here, anyways, it seriously would have been stupid. I just would have moved to break even town here and then just held to, I don't even know where I was really looking for a far low target. I know it wasn't down there, but it was somewhere down here. But yeah, it was looking for opportunities that weren't there, and it was really stupid, and just being so annoyed that the bias was in a way I just had it was really with here and just not being able to find an entry, but it wasn't anything about like revenge trading, trying to get the money back. Just too focused on opportunities that weren't there. So yeah, not really happy with that. But going back to what I was talking about with the open, low, high, close, I think one of the biggest things that I really need to go back and look into is the way I had grasped ICT concepts. There was a lot of information I'm just now starting to pick up on and figure out about that I think is one of the things that is holding me back. Again, psychology and just chart timing experience, always improving. Not saying I'm and like no be all know all of anything like that, but I feel like I'm really starting to get my mental down, obviously still making mistakes. And as for like I guess sort of rules, not 100% perfect. As today I wasn't supposed to even take this third trade, and it was my max size, which again it's like it just I was kind of validating in my head that I've really lowered my size, so even if I did lose, it was nothing crazy. And even though I am over my percentage loss, it still is nothing crazy compared to when I used to be like, going over max loss and anything like that. So it's still within the range. But it's just the fact that I'm learning new things like the open, low, high, close. I had really just fully, and I'm not even like I fully had understood. I guess like again it somewhat correlates within the silver bullet, which I didn't even know what open low high close or open high close whatever. I'm just now understanding that, as well as really understanding equal high and equal lows, but there's so many things that I have to now realize. I have to go and look at ICT's possibly mentorship. I heard the 2022 is the best one, which I had seen a little bit in the past, but I guess didn't finish it. But yeah, it's just basically I have to go and review a lot of stuff that I'm just now learning about. Again, Judas swings. Like when I first learned ICT, it was very the simple, just understanding liquidity, understanding fair value gap, um, understanding OTE of the range, and again, even those took me a little bit to pick up on. But yeah, there's definitely a lot I do not know about. I don't fully understand standard deviation. I don't fully understand like the Judas swing. Judas swing is just a recent thing to that had popped up. So there's a lot I still have to go back and look on, and it's just very disappointing because of like how long ago. I mean, it's not been that long, but I've kind of been, doing ICT concepts for a while now within my trading, and just the fact of realizing that there's so much that I had not known about is kind of disappointing. But yeah, I mean, again, it's a long journey, and there's no shortcuts around it. So I'm definitely gonna go back and look at that. But yeah, enough with the rambling about my issues with ICT concepts. But that's basically it for today. So yeah, going over the weekend, I hope to really look more into it and see what I can grasp, and going forward, try to make more sense when I am talking about it, as well as my entries and really understanding certain things. So yeah, I will possibly, or I should be making something Monday. Actually, now that I think about it, possibly because I did look. I think going into next week here. Today's the 26th. Yeah, it's the start of a new week. I guess we don't have news on Monday unless the market is not open Monday. Let's see. No, yep. So just no news Monday. So shouldn't even be taking anything really. If anything, it'll just be on demo. And then, start of a new week, we really have these high impact news. Like I plan to not even really be trading on Wednesday or anything like that. So yeah, enough rambling. Yep, I don't know when the next video. It's either gonna be Monday or Tuesday. So we will see.